long-haired ninjas, you know what today is?
It's Wacky Granny Wednesday.
Wacky Granny Wednesday. Why is that, Busy Bee?
We're whacking these granny yards
We're
out.
whacking these granny yards out. Matter of fact, ninjas, we've whacked all the granny yards that there is today.
Yep. Just
got home, wrapped up the day, and you're probably wondering, Benick, why did you start the video if you haven't shown us any mowing, Benick?
Why is that?
Because this video, ninjas, is not going to be about mowing. This video is going to be about something else. But before we get to that, Busy Bee, how was today?
It went pretty good, if I had to say so.
Not too bad, right?
Yep,
just whacked a couple of granny yards. Good day, nice 76 degrees, no humidity, beautiful day. We just got everything done. And I wanted to save this video, of course, for right now when I got home, as Busy Bee's getting ready to leave. Good day, right? Good. You ready for tomorrow?
Yeah.
What's tomorrow?
Thirsty Thursday.
Why?
I can't remember.
Why do we call it a Thirsty Thursday? Because we thirsty for these yards. That's why, man.
Yep.
I told you I'm going to get him a shirt and we're going to sell it, ninjas. It's going to be on sgninjas.com. And it's going to say, yup. Busy Bee with a yup.
Sounds good to me.
For now, Busy Bee.
What's up?
We'll see you later.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace.
I want to show you something first before we get to the topic of the video. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, you can see it's a freaking mess in here, as it was last time. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to ask you is, what do you ninjas use for killing weeds? So I've been trying different types of things on my own beds since we're getting ready to put down rock. And the best thing that I have found that actually works is a product called the Prosecutor. And Site One sells it. I don't know if you can get it anywhere else. I know you can get it at Site One. And it works tremendously, really good. But I have shown this in some of the old videos, but I know there's a lot of new people to the channel. I have a military grade product that was given to me by one of my customers many years ago, and he got it from his brother. Was in the military, and he got it. His brother got it, and then his brother gave it to him because he had some kudzu issues. And but from what he was told about this product is that it's so powerful, military grade, that if you sprinkle even the little bit in your backyard, it will kill even the biggest trees. And the worst part about it is it'll probably go over into your neighbor's yard. And this is what I'm talking about right here. And like I said, I have shown this before, but I'm very tempted on trying it. I've had this thing now for years, and I just don't know if I really want to try it out in my own yard. So I'm using gloves, as you can see. It is blue powder. So I've got it in a can, So it's like a double can. And he was afraid to actually use it. There it is. And he ended up giving it to me. He's like, Nick, do you want it? And I'm like, I don't really know if I want it. I'm afraid to use it myself after what you've told me what it does. He's like, look, just take it. I want it off my hands. I don't want it. And he's like, I was going to use it on some of the kudzu, but I'd rather just use the regular stuff that you can buy at Lowe's. And, you know, I'd rather keep spraying it than destroy. He was worried about destroying his whole neighbor's property, because it was on the fence line, and on the other side of the fence is the neighbor's property, and it's got nothing but huge trees. And he's like, if I kill those trees, they'll fall over here on my house. So I got it from him, but I never ended up using it. I've had this thing now for a couple of years. I don't even know what it's called, to be honest with you. So he might have told me at one point, but that was years ago. Anyway, I am tempted to try this. Yeah, but I'm afraid I don't want to kill my own yard or my neighbor's yard. So anyway, besides that, this is very potent and military grade. So one of the things I'm going to go ahead and use is non-diluted Super Clean. I put my Super Clean, non-diluted Super Clean into the backpack sprayer right here. This is the Milwaukee backpack sprayer, and you can adjust it right here on the side how much you want it to disperse. On, right there, off. It's got a awesome gun slash nozzle here. Here, we'll go ahead and try it. So, and keep in mind, this is non-diluted, so it's going to be very strong. It's got a strong odor, strong smell. It's not a bad smell, it's just, you can just tell it's something really strong. You don't want to get it on you at all. So this is my 2017 F250 Ninjas. This is the XL version, and it is the 6.7 liter Powerstroke turbo diesel. I did not start my lawn care company with this truck. I have worked my way up to this truck. The truck that I started my lawn care company with was a F250 as well, but it was a 1997. It was a family friend's, and he passed it down on to us. He actually sold it to us, to me and my father at the time, and that's the truck. It wasn't planned to start my business, but I ended up using that truck, and that is what I ended up starting my business with. It was a stick shift 5-speed, 175,000 miles, but it did not work in fifth gear. Every time you'd put it in fifth gear, it would pop out, and it had no AC. It was a rundown truck. It actually was in a couple of accidents, and I used it until the transmission completely gave out. And at that point I ended up trading, well, I ended up actually selling and not trading, selling it, and I ended up with a 2011 F-150. I did not keep that truck for long. I ended up using it only for 1 year, and then I ended up parting ways with it. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother topic. It was actually not my truck, but I used it for about a year, and I was making payments on it while I was using it, and then I gave it back. From there on, I did upgrade to an F-150 2009. It was the 4.6 liter engine. Come to find out real quickly, that truck was not going to work for me. The F-150s are great trucks, but from what I was at that point upgrading to, I was getting ready to go to an enclosed trailer, and all the sit-down mowers that I had at the time, the F-150 was struggling, and so I ended up upgrading to a 2014 XL two-door F-250. That was the 6.2 liter gas burner. The F-150 was the 4.6 actually V8, which was the small block. The 6.2 is the big block gas burner that Ford makes, and I used it for several years. I loved the truck. I had no issues with it, but it was an XL. It was a two-door, and at that point I've come to find out that I really needed more room. Not only if I have anybody working with me, that, you know, I don't have to have them sitting in the bed of the truck or squeezing. We used to actually squeeze. There was 3 guys that would sit in the front because it was a two-door only, and it was just not comfortable, not practical. You know, when you're out here doing 10-15 yards whatever a day, you're sweating and you don't want to be sitting next to each other that close. So at that point I made a decision that I needed to get a 4-door. This is my very first 4-door truck, and this is my very first 6.7 liter Powerstroke turbo diesel. Now, why did I transition from the gas burners? Because all the previous trucks I just named were gas burners. And why did I go with the diesel truck? Now, the main reason honestly was fuel. I was going through a lot of fuel on the gas burners. I was driving a lot more than I currently am now. I'm still doing a pretty good amount in miles per year, but nowhere near as much as what I used to a couple years ago, and it was killing me on fuel. I was actually spending $50-60 every day on that 6.2 liter, not only because I was driving a lot, but at the same time it wasn't as powerful as this truck is, and I was still pulling an enclosed trailer. A lot of times I even had an open trailer as well. It was just a lot of weight for it. It did fine, but it was drinking a lot of fuel. So one of the main reasons why I decided to go with a diesel truck when I decided to upgrade to a 4-door is because of the fuel. The diesel does save me a lot on the fuel. So I dropped from $50-60 a day, roughly, give or take, down to about $15 to $30 a day. And when I say a day, I mean every day I stop, every day I stop and I fill up. Like, for example, whatever I used up today, because we just finished working, in the morning I'm going to stop and top off, and so that's how I'm calculating that. So when you look at it, you know, if you're saving 15-20 bucks a day, and let's say you do it 5-6 days a week, you do it, you know, 12 months out of the year, that's a lot of savings. So that's one of the reasons I went with a diesel. Now keep that in mind. Of course, you're going to pay a higher upfront fee for a diesel truck. Now this, I believe, was probably around $8,000 to $10,000 more, just because of the diesel engine. And of course, keep in mind, if you are upgrading to a diesel truck, the maintenance aspect of it is going to be also a lot more. Just the oil change itself is a lot more, especially if something else was to go wrong. Now, I knew that, I was aware of that going into this, but at the same time, I also looked at it as anything can happen to any truck, any brand, whatever engine it is. If something is meant to happen, it'll happen. If the truck wasn't put right together, it wasn't built right, you know, something happened. If it was a lemon, it was going to happen regardless whether it was a gas burner or a diesel truck. So I didn't really focus on that much, but one thing I did do is I made sure I got the extended warranty. So if something does happen to this truck, I have the extended warranty. Now, I did have the extended warranty on the 2014 as well. One good thing about the extended warranty is if you don't use all of it up, which I didn't, I ended up selling that truck back to the dealership, and I ended up getting a refund for the unused warranty. So anytime you purchase an extended warranty, if I end up trading or selling this truck, for example, I can call the extended, I can call Ford, and they will actually refund me whatever is left on that extended warranty, which is a good thing. If you do end up parting ways with the truck before the extended warranty expires, you can get some money back. With having the extended warranty, I did have to use, well, I didn't use the extended warranty, but it still was under the manufacturer's warranty. I think at this point I am into the extended warranty. But one of the main things that this truck has had an issue with was underneath the block. This was a couple of months ago. Not the actual oil pan itself, but the actual block of the engine itself, the very bottom, the seal broke, and it started to leak some oil, and there was a bunch of oil down at the bottom of the engine. And so I took it to Ford. They took care of it, and it was warranted. The repair was actually right around labor and parts and all, probably close to $2,000, but it was covered under warranty. So that is one reason you want to have that extended warranty. I think you should have an extended warranty if you're buying a new vehicle, whether you go with a diesel or a gas burner, but that's just my opinion. Some people just go with the manufacturer's warranty, and for those of you who don't know, I know every brand is different, but Ford offers a 3-year 36,000 miles bumper to bumper and a 5-year 60,000 miles powertrain warranty. Now on diesel trucks, the 3-year 36 bumper to bumper and 5-year 60 the powertrain is standard, but what they have also done is they have included an additional up to 100,000 miles on the engine itself. Now, if you're wondering, for those of you who may not be following me or haven't maybe watched some of my previous videos, how many miles did this truck have? Just turned 60,000 miles. It's actually 60,200 and some change, but 60,000 miles, and that was the only issue I have had. Now, you know, I've gone through a lot of the wear and tear stuff. I've gone through several tires, which I'm hoping these will last me the rest of the season, and then I'll have to probably purchase some into the winter or definitely into the start of next season. But I drive a lot, so I go through sets of tires basically on every year to a year and a half. I did upgrade the rims, of course. I did put the fender flares, and I did tint the windows. For those of you who may have been asking me, I can't answer all the questions, but a lot of you have been messaging me and asking me. It is 15% on the tint all the way around. A lot of you have suggested that I delete this truck, you know, and do all kind of mod to it. I don't want to do any of that while it's under warranty. I don't want to take a chance of voiding any kind of warranty. Now, if I still have this truck once the warranty is expired, that is something I can look into, and I'm happy to look into. I know these diesel trucks run so much better when you do stuff like that, but for now, being that it's under warranty, I'm just using it for a work truck. Basically, this is 100% work truck, and you know, it is what it is. Now, if you're thinking about purchasing a diesel truck, keep in mind the maintenance of them is going to be a little bit higher end. You're going to have to religiously stay on top of the fuel filters. There's 2 fuel filters that this truck particular has. I don't know about other brands. One is right underneath the fuel tank in the underneath, and one is right underneath the hood, probably somewhere right around here. If I see it, I'll point it and show you when I pop the hood. Now, those you have to religiously change because diesel fuel is a lot greasier, a lot dirtier, and the fuel filters clog up very quickly. When I say how often, I probably will tell you every other oil change, go ahead and replace both of them. So probably about every 15,000 miles, because you can go with this particular truck, this particular model, you can go 7,000 to 10,000 miles every oil change. All new diesel trucks right now are equipped with DEF fluid right there. So this is where your diesel fuel goes, and this is where you got to put your DEF fluid. Now, what is DEF fluid? It's basically an exhaust fluid. It's where it'll make the diesel engine run clean. And how often do you have to fill that up? Well, it really depends how you drive. Do you have a heavy foot? Do you have a light foot? Are you towing more, hauling more? If you are, you're going to use up more of it. I say if you buy one of those containers at a gas station, you fill it up, you should probably be good for about 1,000 miles, give or take. But again, it just depends how you drive. But that's an extra cost. So you're looking, you know, one of those containers is probably about $15 at a gas station, $16. So it's just something else to consider that you don't have to worry about with a gas burner, but you do if you purchase a diesel. Now, ninjas, a lot of you know, but to some of you who may be new to the channel, I have been in business 10 years. This is actually my 11th year. I've had my ups, I've had my downs, and you know, I've had multiple trucks that I have gone through. And so this is not something that I'm starting out with. I mean, this is something that I'm very proud of. I work very hard, and this is a 2017. So I have had it, let's see, 17 to 18, 18 to 19, 19 to 20, so 3 years. And so by next summer, this will be 4-year-old truck, but I am actually hoping that have this thing paid for by the end of this year / first of next season, before the season starts or right around the time the season starts. So that way I can get this thing paid off. 3 years and the truck is mine. But I'm very proud of it. I have worked really hard. This is not something that's come easy. I wouldn't actually recommend you starting a lawn care company with a truck like this. This is an expensive truck, you know, especially if you're looking at a diesel, but you work your way up to this. I am pulling a 7x18 dual axle trailer pretty much 24/7. So to say, you know, you'll never see this truck unhooked from the trailer unless I am making a video for you ninjas, right? Taking it to a car wash, or if I'm just working on it or something like that. 9 times out of 10, always connected to a trailer. So let's go ahead and pop the hood and show you the engine. Now, the engine is not, of course, clean. It's very dusty, as every engine should if it's a working engine and it's a working truck, but it's not in bad condition. I did have to replace the batteries, the manufacturer batteries that came with it. For some reason were 750 crank amps, cold cranking amps, and I went ahead and upgraded. As you can see right maybe there, it's 850. Paid a little extra for that, but I should be set for a while. So both of these are 850. So that is the only other thing as far as inside the engine that I have to change. Now, here is the fuel filter I had mentioned to you earlier. Like I said, one of them is under the truck, right underneath the fuel tank, and the other one is right here. So you want to replace this thing every other oil change. Besides that oil pan underneath, which is underneath the block, I have not had any other issues with the 6.7. One of the reasons why I went with the 6.7 Powerstroke with this in this particular year, this is the year, I believe, don't hold me to it, it might have been 2016, but I want to say it's 2017 when they for the first time ever started building that engine in-house, which means that engine is built in America, which definitely was an attracting thing to me because I definitely want to support anything made in America. One other reason why I'm such a huge Ford fan, if you remember a few years back, ninjas, when the automotive industry was collapsing, we were on the going down. This was right around 08, 09. We were in the recession, first one at least. And you know, the manufacturer, the GM and Dodge and all those were really hurting. And there was a bailout money that was approved by the government. But there's a big but there. What? Because there was so much money that was approved and they saved GM and Dodge. There was some leftover money. I don't know how many billions of dollars. This actually made headline news, believe it or not. I don't know the whole story like detail for detail, but I'm giving you the whole just cover story, so to say. They offered Ford the leftover couple hundred, I don't know, hundreds of billions of dollars or a couple of $1 billion, and Ford actually turned it down. That really stood out to me as a younger individual around that age, you know, in my 20s. I just remember thinking, my gosh, you know, here you have somebody offering you hundreds of billions or billions at least dollars, and you know, you don't want that money. And that made me respect Ford so much more because, you know, that bailout money is our money, that's our taxes. And to me, it just stood out so much that I was like, okay, then not only do I like the trucks, Ford trucks, you know, I've grown up around it, but that just reassured me so much more that this is the company that I want to spend my hard-earned money with. Now, keep in mind, as far as brakes and pads and things of that nature and rotors, I have gone through several pads in the front, and I don't think I've even replaced the pads in the back. I think they're still factory, so that's not bad, but I know they're coming up and it's due. But that's not bad considering I got 60,000 miles on it and all the stuff that I'm constantly hauling and towing, whatever. It's done really well. So that's coming up next, but I have gone through numerous of pads in the front and one set of rotors, which is in one of my recent videos that me and Busy Bee changed. So you're gonna go through that. If I'm not mistaken, you're breaking 70% of it in the front and 30% of it in the back. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but I think that's what I remember from just reading up on it in the past. So that means you're gonna go through a lot more pads in the front and nowhere near as many in the back. For any of you who may be new to the channel, I give my vehicles names. I feel like it's more personal and I feel like I feel more connected to them. So this is Tiny. For all of you who don't know, a lot of you do know, this is Tiny. He got this name a few years back just because, I don't know, it's Tiny. And if you're wondering what kind of tire size I'm running 35 by 12.5, but I was actually thinking about putting maybe 1.5 to 2 inch spacers, so that way when I upgrade to my next tires, when these are ready to be changed, to get some spacers just so the tires come out a little bit out of the fender flares. I just feel like the tires are still pulled in a little bit, and I would like that little stance look, whatever you want to call it, that it would just look a little meaner. So there you have it, ninjas. I hope this helps you. Now you understand how I got to this truck. It's not what I started with, but I hope it also just helps you if you are in the market. Maybe you're considering upgrading, whether it's this year, next year. Maybe you are ready to buy a truck and you just haven't decided if you're going to go with a diesel or a gas burner. A lot of people will tell you stay away from diesels, but a lot of people will tell you go with diesel. So it's really a preference thing. If you can afford the extra money up front, I think in the long run, if you're planning on keeping the truck for a long time, it's worth it. But if you can't, the 6.2 liter V8, which is the biggest big block that Ford makes in gas burners, is a perfectly good truck, and it'll work for just about anybody, especially if you're starting a business. Heck, if you're just starting a business and you maybe have just a regular 6x12 or whatever, You can even go with the small block, which is the 4.6, which is what my F-150 was, and it was fine until I started upgrading into the bigger trailers, dump trailer and things like that, and that's when I saw the struggle. Thank you for tuning in for another video. I hope this has helped all of you who may be in the market. Like I said, I'm out of here. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.